Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and 2026 just dropped the biggest One Piece news we've had in years. Netflix and WIT Studio finally pulled the curtain back on their full anime remake, and the title is The One Piece. You know those people who always wanted to start this series, then saw more than 1,100 episodes waiting for them and quietly closed the tab? This remake is for them. WIT Studio is aiming straight at the biggest thing holding One Piece back, and they're rebuilding it from the ground up. Now, let me get the obvious part out of the way, because I already know this is going to start fights in the comments. One Piece is amazing! The problem is that the original anime is a huge commitment that scares newcomers away before they even reach episode 1. There are more than 1,100 episodes, slow stretches, weekly recaps, and filler arcs that always seem to appear at the worst possible time. That massive wall is exactly what this remake wants to tear down. So tell me honestly, did One Piece actually need this remake? Here's what we know so far. The teaser premiered on June 24th at the Annecy Animation Festival in France, and it came with an official poster and our first real look at the series. WIT Studio is handling production. These are the same people behind the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan and most of Spy Family, so nobody can call this a lazy cash grab. The series arrives on Netflix in February 2027, and if Netflix follows its usual strategy, expect every episode to release on the same day. Now this next part changes everything. Season 1 is only 7 episodes long. The total runtime is around 300 minutes, and those 7 episodes cover the entire East Blue Saga. That's roughly the first 50 chapters of Eiichiro Oda's manga, ending around the Baratie arc, where Luffy recruits Sanji. If you're completely new to One Piece, East Blue is where Monkey D. Luffy first sets sail and slowly builds his crew. He meets Roronoa Zoro, the swordsman, Nami, the navigator, and Usopp, the sniper, before Sanji finally joins the Going Merry. This is the part of the story that hooks people for life. Now compare that to the original anime. Toei Animation spent dozens of episodes telling that same story. WIT Studio plans to cover it in just 5 hours, with no filler and no unnecessary padding. You could finish the entire first season in a single, relaxed Saturday. The staff behind this remake is stacked. The director is Masashi Koizuka, who worked on the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, so intense action scenes are right in his comfort zone. Character designs come from Kyoji Asano and Takatoshi Honda. The team reportedly studied Oda's original manga for months just to get the visual style right. And yes, Eiichiro Oda himself is involved with the project. That matters more than you might think, because the fastest way to ruin a remake is by pushing aside the person who understands the story better than anyone else. Now that's the dream scenario. Reality became a lot messier after the teaser released. Fans immediately split into 2 completely different camps. This is where things get interesting. The remake uses a soft watercolor style that's meant to feel like Oda's manga color spreads coming to life. Half the fanbase absolutely loves it. They say the cleaner artwork and smoother fight choreography are a huge upgrade over the original Toei style. The other half completely disagrees. Some viewers think the animation looks flat and stiff once it starts moving, almost uncanny, and they feel the new soundtrack doesn't have the same emotional impact as the music they grew up with. Honestly, both sides make valid points. A single frame from this teaser looks absolutely gorgeous. It honestly looks like something you'd frame on your wall. But animation has to be judged in motion, not from screenshots. And one teaser is nowhere near enough to judge the finished series. So calling it a masterpiece or a disaster right now is way too early. Here's my opinion. A tight 7-episode version of East Blue, backed by this much talent, is probably the best entry point anyone has ever created for the millions of people who were never going to watch more than 1,100 episodes. It doesn't replace the original anime. It simply gives new fans a much easier front door into the world of One Piece. And that's the real story hiding behind all the trailer hype. Netflix isn't trying to replace One Piece. It's trying to build a shortcut into it. The entire plan is to bring in a new wave of fans with a clean 5-hour experience, and then encourage those fans to go back and watch the full series. The biggest question is simple. Does the animation still look great once it's fully in motion? That's the question that will decide whether this remake succeeds. We'll finally get the answer in February 2027. The release date is locked in. The verdict is still wide open. So that's the full breakdown. If you think this remake is exactly what One Piece needed, or you think the original should have been left completely untouched, let me know which side you're on in the comments. I really want to see how divided everyone is. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more anime content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out!